to work with for Wake. Bachmeyer fires, got it complete, more and again! Football came out! Green tried to pick it up, and it looks like Virginia's got it!
Welcome back to another edition of Who You Got. I'm Conwell Morris alongside a new co-host, Matt Gilbert. We're going to give a recap of UVA's huge 31-30 victory over Wake Forest and then give you a preview of their Week 3 matchup against the Maryland Terrapins. First, we're going to recap the huge victory over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, a game that featured a big comeback. UVA trailed by as much as 14 at one point, but they were able to surge late, have some big plays in the fourth quarter, and come away with a victory. Matt, what were you impressed with?
I was impressed with Anthony Cavalier at quarterback. He threw two early interceptions, one that was on his part and one that was just an unlucky deflection on the line. But he then came back to throw two key touchdowns to Neville, the tight end, and then also was over 75% accurate on his throws throughout the game.
I agree, Cavalier was a bright spot. I was also happy to see the D-line get involved. 6 sacks last night. We only had 11 in the entire season last year. It's good to see them getting pressure on the quarterback. And even in our secondary, Jonas Sanker led the team with 7 solo tackles. So a lot of defensive pressure, a lot to be excited about as we head into Maryland this weekend. Now it's time to give you our keys to a Virginia victory this weekend. UVA is taking on the Maryland Terrapins, who are 1-1 through their first 2 games. Maryland's got a tough test against the UVA team with a lot of momentum right now. Matt, what's a key to a Virginia victory this weekend?
My key for the game is the Virginia special teams. Last week against Wake, they let in a free rusher on a punt, which ended up in the block punt, and Wake having key field position on the plus side of the field.
I agree. I also think Virginia's defense is going to be huge in this game. They played well against Wake Forest, but Maryland does have an air raid offense. Their quarterback, Billy Edwards Jr., has connected with receiver Ty Felton for over 300 yards in their first 2 games. They're going to need to make sure their secondary is shored up, or they could have some big plays down the field.
I mentioned how well Anthony Cavalier played in last week's game against Wake, but there were some key mistakes that he made. For example, the 2 interceptions, plus some incompletions that were not well thrown to his intended receiver. This week he has got to be accurate in his throws and try and clean up those 2 interceptions that he had.
I agree, Cavalier is always a key to a Virginia victory. I'd also like to see Virginia reproduce a run game like they had against Richmond. Kobe Pace had a huge starting debut, quieter against Wake Forest. I think Maryland is a team that the UVA offensive line can dominate against. We can push the ball down the field and control the pace of play. And now we're back to everybody's favorite part of the video, Who You Got. We're going to get a rookie score from Matt Gilbert.
Yep.
Maryland is favored -2.5 against Virginia for this Saturday. But Matt, who you got?
I think I'm going to take the Who's to keep rolling on their train of victories. I got them 28-24 over Maryland, but I could also see Maryland's defense and offense being a problem for UVA, so you've got to watch it on Saturday.
I agree. I think the Cavs are going to take this one. I like the momentum that they're building. A lot of names we didn't even mention in our preview. Malachi Fields had another big game. He and Cavalier have really built a relationship. I expect them to take advantage of Maryland's secondary. I'm going to say 35-23 Who's. It'll be a big game, but we'll have to wait till this Saturday at 8 p.m. at Scott Stadium. I'm Conwell Morris alongside
Matt Gilbert.
WUVA.